So hot.
The villa Nico had secretly built was now home to the small cat he had bought, which had grown into a big dog. At that moment, Sora was at home touching up her makeup, ready to rush to the countryside, facing her husband's concern. She seemed a bit impatient, but then Taekyeon smiled and took out a set of car keys. It was his wife's birthday in a few days. Taekyeon was giving her a car as a birthday present. Sora came from a wealthy family and had everything she needed. She was also a respectable gynecologist. Her son was already 6 years old. She was a winner in life. Sora drove her new car to the beach and hurriedly called Miho, because her family was causing trouble and she might be late. As a gynecologist, she participated in monthly volunteer medical services in rural areas. Her colleagues were curious why she was so enthusiastic about public service. Sora was in a hurry to leave and made up an excuse to get out of it. This colleague was no ordinary person. She and Sora used to be best friends, but Sora had stolen the man she loved, and she was about to be the one to expose Miho and Sora. By nightfall, Sora finally arrived at the countryside. The two of them, who had been apart for a short time, were as passionate as newlyweds. This situation had been going on for 5 years. In their spare time, they played with the dog in the yard. That was why Miho had dog hair on her. Two people with families were shamelessly living a life of two. Meanwhile, Siami was at home with endless household chores. Not only does she have to take care of her grandmother who has Alzheimer's, but she also has to serve her elegant mother-in-law. And Suk asks her if the last trip was effective and that she can't wait to hold her grandchild. But Siami doesn't have the heart to tell her that her husband slept the entire 3 days of their honeymoon and she didn't have any time. And Suk dotes on Siami, but she doesn't know her son's two secrets. It's absolutely impossible for her to have a grandchild. Her grandmother with Alzheimer's is like a child. If Siami didn't coax her, she would throw a tantrum. One day, the grandmother suddenly regained consciousness for a moment. Siami quickly called her mother-in-law over so that the two women could talk. The grandmother asked her if she had gotten the land deed from the countryside back. And Suk was completely confused. She had no idea what land deed she was talking about. Siami was also puzzled. Her husband's family was wealthy, but her father-in-law's gambling addiction had ruined most of the family fortune. Unfortunately, the grandmother soon became confused again. This discovery excited Siami. If they got the deed, it would mean a windfall. However, Suk wasn't confident and said that if they found it, she would give it to Siami to keep. Siami had a hunch that the deed was definitely there, hidden somewhere in the house, but the deed had long been used by Nico to build a villa. To show his sincerity, he even changed the owner's name to Sora's. From now on, this house would be Sora's property. The 2 days of joyful reunion passed quickly, and it was time for them to return home. Sora asked Miho how she liked his car. Miho suddenly felt pressured and promised to work hard to buy her a better one in the future. Sora was very happy, but said that she didn't care about those things. As long as she could be with Miho, that was the best gift she could ask for. Miho was overjoyed when he heard this. After doing something bad, the two returned to their respective homes. Siami brought her daughter out to greet her husband. Sora was more cautious. She always took a shower before going home. Then she had to use tape to clean the dog hair off her body. When she got home, she was still reminiscing about the time outside. Her husband just wanted to hug her, but she resisted violently. This wasn't the first time this had happened. Taekyeon didn't know that his wife had already changed her mind, so he deliberately teased her. Passing by the living room, Boonju was stunned. Her brother was usually so gentle and weak. When did he become so manly? The next second, Taekyeon ran out of the room, covering his nose. Boonju couldn't believe it. The first aid kit was in the cabinet next door, so she told her brother to get it himself. Their family was a prestigious and influential one. If their mother
Family!